Okay, so I have buffed the nails. You just want to go over and prep the client's nails just kind of lightly with your file or with your buffer. You just taking off any natural oils that that comes onto the natural nail from the skin, your client's skin. If your clients have like oily skin, they could have like lifting sooner than normal as well. So that'll be something that you should ask your clients, like, do you have oily skin, especially those that have a lot of lifting going on, and that could help you, with your application process, or it can also help with knowing how soon your clients should come back for their refills as well. So just keep in mind those clients that have oily skin can have oily nail beds, and then that can cause lifting sooner than normal. So I'm sizing up this tip right here. I'm just applying it from sidewall to sidewall, and that's what we do: sidewall to sidewall, sidewall on this nail to sidewall, which is from one side to the other. Okay. And it seems to fit perfectly. Now keep in mind, on this mannequin hand, I used tips I placed on here, and I'm using those like they are a the natural nail bed. Okay. So first, what I would do is I would file out this well, all of this part up in here, all of that part in there. I'm gonna start filing out. And you can kind of see it you can see it in the video that dip right up in here. That's the part that I'm gonna focus on filing now. Because if you start filing on that early, like ahead of time before you apply it onto the client's natural nail, then you won't have so much filing to do over that client's natural nail. You thin this well out now, and by the time you go to put it onto that client's nail, it's gonna blend so well. Okay, so okay, so I'm just gonna drop this little bead right there in the well. I buffed the natural nail so it's nicely dehydrated. Placing the bead, placing my tip on there, and see how well it's blending. This is tip to tip because this is not a natural nail. It may take a little longer to dry, but normally it dries pretty fast. Like soon as it hits contact with the natural nail, it's dry. So it's not gonna take this long to dry on your client's natural nail. See, it didn't want to come off my nail, wanted to attach. So see how well that's blended? Like, I'm gonna show you this one. So this is the first one I put on. You could barely even see the line. This is the other one that I just put on here. The only thing that you really see right there is the glue, where the glue is kind of oozing out underneath. But once I go in and I buff that glue off of that area, see how I'm buffing that off of there? Really lightly. It blends. Look at that. It's blended. Now you can't even see the difference. So I'm gonna go on to the next one. Again, this is the client's natural nail. You just buffing off really lightly, just kind of like roughing up the nail. You just want to rough up that cuticle a little bit, just so that your artificial nail adheres, the glue adheres really well to it. Okay, sizing it up again from sidewall to sidewall, sidewall on your tip to sidewall on this side. Okay, you do not want it to be all over into the, you do not want that tip to hit that client's skin. So that's a perfect size. Again, I'm going to just go ahead and buff off the well. I'm just going to thin it out, so I don't have to do that much filing. Remember, on this one, I didn't have to do, after I buffed this out, that was it. It was on there. I can move on, put my acrylic on there, and keep it going. My acrylic or my gel. And it blends so well. That's the last thing you want to see and your client want to see, is you can see that indentation line of the well where the fake nail meets the natural nail. You want to get rid of that. And you don't want to do a lot of filing over the client's natural nail either, because that can like damage their nail, right? So I'm going to take my small bead, push out a small bead just to fill that area. And again, like I said, this is artificial. This is a tip on tip, so it takes a little longer to dry. But if it was a natural nail, it would dry right away. Okay? And you can kind of see how the glue has flooded in there too. So it's a good video of everything. So we just gonna hold this just a little bit longer than we normally would hold a tip onto the natural nail. The natural nail, it would glue like in seconds, like almost as soon as it makes contact. I'm gonna go in here and press it down closer to the tip. There we go. It's on there. And so, like I said before, what you see here is glue, okay? The glue just oozing out from that bead that we put on the well. And we're just gonna go ahead and buff that out. And once you buff that out, buff all that glue off of the natural nail, it's blended. Look at that. Boom, boom, bam. Super easy. Okay, these tips are 3X's. They're pretty long. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more, and I'm just gonna make this one a little shorter. So I'm just gonna file it down just a little shorter. I'm gonna buff over the natural nail, just taking off any debris, right? Any oils, any debris. Then you will go in as well with like a cleanser, a prep nail dehydrator, like a Band-Aid or something, to take off the dust from filing and to also dehydrate the nail. Then I'm gonna size up my tip from sidewall to sidewall, making sure that it does fit, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and start buffing. So I'm just buffing out that well. Remember, just the well area, on the area that needs to be thinned out. And once that's thinned out, then I'm gonna put my bead in there. And because this is also a tip on tip thing, it takes a little longer to dry. So I'm gonna press in here to make sure that the connection is made. And there we go. It's on there. And this right here that you see, that is nothing but glue. So to get rid of that, You can take your buffer, buff it out, and see how it's gone. And this tip is blended into that natural nail. Besides the little dust that's there, but it's blended in so well that when you go and put your acrylic on, especially if you were doing a clear set of acrylic, like glass nails or something, this will be perfect for that. Okay. If you're not, then you probably don't care about the weld showing. But I would like to just get in the habit, just get in the habit of making sure your weld is blended well with your natural nail so that you don't see any indentations. If you ran out of, say if you ran out of a natural powder and you only had clear powder left to do, to work on your clients, you want your clients to look at their nails and be like, wow, that looks amazing, you know? So I hope this is the end. Well, this is the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a line on any questions you may have. Until then, have a creative day.